Hello guys, welcome back to C for Fun. Today we're going to be looking at pattern printing in C, the second series, which we're going to be printing holo patterns. So we're going to be using booleans in printing these holo patterns. We're going to have three main operators: the AND gate, the NOT gate, and the OR gate. Very important. So with the AND gate, we're going to have, if we have two values, if the two are true, the output is true. Once one is false, the output will be false. Just take an example like I'm eating, I'm playing. If I'm eating and I'm playing, it will be true. If I'm eating and I'm not playing, it will be false. If I'm not eating and I'm playing, it will be false. And if I'm not eating and I'm not playing, it's still false. So it's just the boolean and. So for the OR gate, yeah, is true once any of the statements are true, like once any of the operators are true, but it's only false when the two operators are false. So we're going to begin with the right angle triangle like we saw in our earlier videos. So I'm going to make this right angle triangle holo. Guys, remember the code for the right angle triangle. So to do this, everything remains the same except the holo space inside the triangle. So what we need to do is we need to place a condition inside the loop. That means we'll say if this condition is correct, we should print a star. If it is not correct, we should print a space. So I think you see this as we begin coding. Let's go. So guys, we would like to make this video short. So here's our code for our right angle triangle, which is not holo. As you can see, if we run this one we're going to have. Now we're going to make this triangle holo. Let's observe. We'll observe that a star is printed only when j is equals to I. Okay, remember I is the number of rows. So when I is 1, j is 1, you see a star is printed. When I is 2, j is 2, another star is printed. When I is 3, j is 3, another star is printed, and so on and so forth. And a star is also printed when j is equals to 1. For example, j is equals to 1. You can see stars are printed here. No matter how I is changing, as j is equals to 1, stars are printing. And also stars are printed when I is equals to n. N here is the size, which is the maximum number of rows. So when I is equals to n, you see stars are printed. So let's do this. So what we'll do is we'll come inside this loop here and we'll place our if. Just want to remove this guy. So what I'll do is I'll say if. Now place our conditions. J equals to I. So in C, this is the symbol used for the OR gate, right? For j equals to I, or the reason why we're using or is that it's not for all of the conditions, because if I say if j equals to 1 and j equals to I, what you will do is that in the beginning j can be equals to 1 year, and also j can also be equals to I. So the two conditions, using the AND gate, the two conditions have to be true for the code execution to proceed. But now there are some situations where the two conditions will not be true, and when the two conditions are not true, the outcome will be false. That means the code will not continue the execution. That's why we're using the OR gate. So j equals to I, j equals to 1, and I equals to n. So if this is true, we are going to be printing a star. But if this is false, we are going to print a space, right? Yeah. Now let's run this. Voilà. Now we have our beautiful holo triangle. So let's go to the next. Um, yeah, the next we're going to be looking at the flip right angle triangle, as we saw in our earlier videos. So everything still remains the same. The only thing we have to do is to set a condition now, make it holo, just as we have just done. So here we'll still notice that a star is printed when j is equals to I, right? J is equals to 1, right? So when j is equals to 1, a star is printed. Remember, j is the number of stars, like the star number. For example, here j is the first star, first star, first star, first star, first star, first star, right? And then when I is equals to n, when I is equals to n, and then when j now is equals to I, so j will be equals to I here. Okay, so now let's do this. So guys, what I've done is I've just written the code to print the, I just added this space and then printed the leading spaces. Guys, we already have a video on printing this particular pattern, so I would like you to check that out. So here now, I'm sure when I was explaining that how the stars are printed, maybe you did not understand clearly. So take a look at this. When j is equals to I, right, or j is equals to 1, or I is equals to n, this is the out, this is the output. We'll have this is holo, right? Now let me show you what I mean by the first stars. If I remove this condition and I run this, you see I've lost this diagonal. This is because when j is equals to 1, it's actually the first star that is printed, since we have flipped the triangle. So we have the first star, first star, first star, first star. Now talking about j equals to I. When j is equals to I, that means j will take the number that I is, which is, because by the time I is executed, you will be at 5. So when j is equals to I now, that's when j is also the first star. Okay, let's look at this. Let's look at it this way. So what I'm going to do is, sorry. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put back the condition. Okay, and then I'm going to remove j equals to I. How do I show you this here? Wow. You see, we have lost this. If you want to look at it in terms of, let's say, in terms of numbers, I think it will make sense. So what I'll do is I'm going to come inside here. Okay, I'll print. This is going to affect the triangle, but it's just for explanation purposes. So what I'll do is I'm going to print I and G. So I'll print I here and I'll print G. So let's look at this. Nice. So here, remember the first number was I, the second was G. So I is 1, J is 1. I is 2, J is 1. I is 2, J is 2. I is 3, J is 1. You see, I is incrementing and then J is like following it. It's just like 1 1 1 2 1 1 1 2 3 1 2, just as we're seeing this pattern here. Let me remove the space and the star so now I can explain better. So I'll comment this and then also move this guy. Maybe I'll move this guy too. Voila. So we have here 1 1 2 1 2 2 3 1 3 3 4 1 4 4. This one like this represents those stars that diagonally in the triangle. And then you see that after this we'll have a 2 2. This one j is equal to I. That's where it at the end those stars are moving downward. And then you see that we start having a huge number of fives. Those are the stars at the base. Okay. So I know this is a bit difficult, but the easiest way to understand this is just know that the condition, like anything, if when you have any condition you have here, right, like what you put here is always going to be a condition for necessary for you printing the stars. We're going to see this in the next video, where I'm going to be explaining better. So I want let's increase the size so that I can see it clearly. Voila, nice triangle. So basically that's all for the video. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe and share. See you in the next video.